Good afternoon. This is our program plan on improving quality of sleep in students at the University of Florida. This presentation is by Abigail Martinez, Amari Owens, Carly Schwab, and Kelly Shearer. Our target population is college students at the University of Florida, and the health issue we will be addressing is lack of quality sleep. We collected data for our needs assessment through secondary sources, and the literature sources we drew information from include the American College Health Association, the Journal of Multidisciplinary Healthcare, the International Journal of Behavioral Medicine, the Nature and Science of Sleep Journal, the Journal of Sleep Research, the Indian Journal of Health and Wellbeing, the American Journal of Health Education, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and the Neuropsychiatric Disease and Treatment Journal. Findings included, but are not limited to, that about 70% of college students consider themselves sleep deprived and do not get enough sleep, Hirschner and Chervin, 2014. Time management explained 20% of poor sleep quality in college students, with students' study habits causing lack of sleep during the week, Nolden and Naher, 2023. And a survey showed that the three main reasons for sleep deprivation among college students were social media, streaming, educational pressure, and social life. Duong Uka et al. 2020.
Hello, everyone. Now we'll be taking a look at the precede-proceed model. According to McKinsey et al., this model is used as a guide to plan the intervention strategies that will be used to plan the evaluation. There are a total of 8 phases in the model, and each phase leads to the finding of the desired outcome of the program. In the first phase, which is the social assessment, we define the quality of life. In the second phase, the epidemiological assessment, we identify the health goal, which is on average improvement of sleep quality among UF students. The third phase, which is the educational and ecological assessment, aims to identify the factors that influence behavior. It looks at 3 different factors, which are predisposing, reinforcing, and enabling. Our predisposing factor is knowledge of healthy sleep habits. Our reinforcing factors are peer pressure, nightlife/social activities, and others. Our enabling factors include the Gatorwell website. It also identifies connections between those factors and the impact they have on behavioral and environmental targets, which include insomnia as a genetic factor, time management, social media, and educational pressure, and social life as a behavioral target, and lastly, living situation as an environmental target. Phase 4 of the model looks at the health program and policy development in the intervention alignment. This includes intervention strategies, implementation strategies, and evaluation strategies. Phase 5 looks at process evaluation and is about monitoring the implementation of the program. And lastly, phases 6 through 8 looks at the short-term, intermediate term, and long-term evaluations in that respective order.
Theoretical framework is an important aspect for creating an effective health education program. The theory we are choosing to use is the social cognitive theory, which can be defined as a 3-way reciprocal determinism model in which personal factors, environmental influences, and behavior interact, according to our textbook. The social cognitive theory has many constructs, but the 3 we will be focusing on are behavioral capability, expectancies, and self-regulation or self-control. We chose this theory because we have seen great examples of the social cognitive theory being used to improve sleep health. For example, in a study done from the Journal of Sleep Research, they used the social cognitive theory to measure sleep using specific constructs from the theory, and they found that participants who exhibited higher amounts of the constructs also exhibited higher sleep duration as opposed to those who did not embody the social cognitive theory constructs. Moving on to goals and objectives, we have our health issue goal, which is to improve University of Florida students' sleep habits. We have developed process, impact, and outcome objectives to align with our goal and help us achieve our desired result. Starting off with our process objectives, these are activities, tasks, or strategies that will help us achieve our impact and outcome objectives. We have 3 major process objectives and then an activity and output directly correlated to each. Our first process objective is that by the end of the workshop, 25% of UF students who received a flyer will attend an educational session on sleep health. Our activity for this objective is to create informative flyers, and our desired output is that 25% of those who received a flyer will then attend the workshop. Our next process objective is that 200 informational flyers will be distributed either physically by hand or posted on interest boards before the start of the workshop. To achieve this objective, we set our activity to distribute the flyers in order to achieve our output of 200 flyers being distributed. Lastly, our third process objective is that before the workshop, we will have tabled on campus at least 4 times and talk to at least 20 students. To achieve this objective, our activity is to utilize tabling here on UF campus and speak directly with students in order to achieve our output of the workshop being promoted on 4 different days and with at least 20 students.
Next, we move on to the impact objectives. Impact objectives include learning, environmental, and behavioral factors. So we have 4 major impact objectives. All 4 are considered health education objectives, meaning they are targeted towards informing the public on attitude, skills, and knowledge. Lastly, the impact objectives utilize the social construct theory, as previously mentioned by Carly. The 3 constructs included in this chart are behavioral capability, self-regulation, and self-efficacy. The first impact objective is that after the workshop, 80% of UF students who attended the workshop will be able to rate, on a scale of 1 to 10, their understanding of the importance of sleep as a 7 or higher. This is a learning objective that focuses on improving attitude towards sleep health. The activity is the information section of the workshop. This objective highlights behavioral capability, meaning that it targets improving knowledge and skills of sleep health. The second impact objective is that after the workshop, 80% of attendees will be able to create a 3-step action plan for a nighttime routine. This is a behavioral objective that focuses on improving skills. The activity that aligns with this objective is the part of our workshop where we give participants a printed template to create a nighttime routine after learning about the importance of them. This highlights the construct of self-regulation, meaning a person can gain more control over their sleep habits. The third impact objective states that after the workshop, 80% of UF students who attended the workshop will be able to list 3 effects of poor sleep habits. This is a learning objective that focuses on improving knowledge during the sleep information session, where we discuss healthy sleep habits. This objective highlights behavioral capability, similar to the first objective mentioned, meaning it targets improving knowledge and skills of sleep habits. The last of our impact objectives states that after the workshop, 80% of UF students who attended will say they are confident in their ability to set important personal boundaries regarding social support in living situations. This is an environmental impact objective, specifically social environment. It focuses on improving both behavior and skills. During the workshop, attendees will be given a printed brochure discussing setting boundaries in one's social life. This impact objective highlights the concept of self-efficacy, meaning your confidence in setting these boundaries. Outcome objectives highlight the overall goals of a program. Our main 3 outcome objectives are 6 months after the workshop, 50% of UF students who attended the workshop will report an improved quality of life through better sleep health via survey. Next, we have 6 months after the workshop, 50% of UF students who attended the workshop will report improved mental health via survey. Lastly, 50% of UF students who attended the workshop will report an improved GPA with an increase of at least 0.1 6 months after.
The inputs for our program include educational materials, funding, supplies, and space. The first activity for our program is to educate students on healthy sleep habits through educational handouts. The output of this activity would be the number of students who attend our educational workshop. The second activity for our program is to teach a sleep workshop about positive and negative sleep habits creating a 3-step action plan for a nighttime routine, and setting important personal boundaries in living situations through interactive educational materials. The output of this activity would be the number of educational materials presented at the workshop. Short-term outcomes of the program are students will have an increased knowledge of the effects of poor sleep and an increased knowledge of the importance of healthy sleep habits, which will be measured through a post-workshop survey. Medium-term outcomes of the program include increased use of sleep techniques, better quality sleep on average, and an increased GPA, all of which will be measured in a survey. Long-term outcomes of the program include students' development of a routine including healthy sleep habits, as well as an improved quality of life. Long-term outcomes will be measured 6 months post-workshop through a survey.
Through this implementation program, we hope to achieve many outcomes that signify our progression towards our final goal of improving sleep quality among students at the University of Florida. We expect that UF students will be more educated on the importance of sleep. They will also begin to implement healthy sleep practices. We also expect that students will begin to improve their quality of sleep. And lastly, through the improved quality of sleep, UF students will also see a GPA increase as well as improved mental health and overall quality of life. Here's a link to all of the references that was used in this implementation program, and we thank you for joining us and listening.